Normalcy has returned to South Asia after talks of intense military escalation between Pakistan and India. The two nuclear-armed neighbors have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. The surprise announcement came from US President Donald Trump, who posted on his Truth Social platform that both countries had shown common sense. Shortly after Trump's statement, officials from both Islamabad and New Delhi confirmed the development. According to Trump, the agreement was reached following a long night of talks mediated by the United States. He praised both nations for what he described as intelligence and decision-making in halting hostilities. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shehbaz also took to social media to confirm that both countries had agreed to a ceasefire with immediate effect. He said that Pakistan had always worked for peace and regional security without compromising on sovereignty or territorial integrity. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram said that the chiefs of military operations from both countries had communicated and decided that all fighting would stop by 5 p.m. Indian time. While Mistry did not use the term ceasefire, he stated that the Directors General of Military Operations would speak again on May 12th. Speaking to DawnNews, Dar said that military hotlines between the two countries had been reactivated. He also revealed that around 36 countries had played a role in facilitating the ceasefire agreement. Prime Minister Shehbaz thanked Donald Trump for what he described as a groundbreaking role in promoting peace. He appreciated Trump's leadership and his willingness to play a greater role in the region. Trump further stated that he was proud of the leadership demonstrated by both India and Pakistan, calling it strong and wise. He said both sides understood the importance of halting the current aggression, which could have led to massive destruction and loss of life. Trump added that he wanted to work with both countries to find a solution to the Kashmir dispute, which he referred to as a long-standing issue. Meanwhile, amid reports in Indian media of ceasefire violations, Pakistan's Foreign Office said it remained committed to the ceasefire. It acknowledged some violations by India, but stated that Pakistani forces were responding with the responsibility and restraint. The Foreign Office urged that such matters should be addressed through proper channels and called on troops on the ground to exercise restraint. Punjab Information Minister Asma Bukhari credited the Pakistan Air Force for forcing India to retreat, calling it one of the world's best. She also mentioned the role of former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif in developing Pakistan's nuclear program. Bukhari said that Indian citizens were reportedly fearful with blackout drills being carried out. Following the ceasefire, Pakistan expressed hope for a lasting solution to the Kashmir dispute and thanked the US and other friendly nations for their role in de-escalation. UN General Assembly President Philemon Yang welcomed the ceasefire, calling it a step toward peace and stability in the region. Foreign ministers of China, Saudi Arabia and Turkey acknowledged Pakistan's restraint. China reaffirmed its support, while Saudi Arabia and Turkey appreciated Pakistan's response. Residents in Muzaffarabad called the ceasefire a positive step, saying that wars result in civilian deaths, particularly among Kashmiris. Russian President Vladimir Putin has proposed direct peace talks with Ukraine in Istanbul on May 15. He says the talks would be held without preconditions and aims to achieve lasting peace and eliminate the root causes of the ongoing conflict now in its third year. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy responded by calling the offer a positive sign, acknowledging that Russia appears to be considering an end to the war. However, Zelenskyy emphasized that the first step must be a ceasefire, urging that hostilities stop starting May 12th. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump's special envoy on Ukraine, 𝐶𝐬𝐬, also weighed in. In a post on X, 𝐶𝐬𝐬 insisted that both sides must first agree to an unconditional 30-day ceasefire before any talks can begin. He stressed that peace negotiations should follow a truce, not precede it. So far, Putin has not responded directly to Ukraine's and the West's proposal for a 30-day ceasefire ahead of any dialogue. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio is also set to visit Turkey from May 14 to 16 to attend a NATO meeting focused on the Russia-Ukraine war. His visit overlaps with the date proposed by Putin for the talks. Talks between senior US and Chinese officials have resumed in Geneva for a second day, as President Donald Trump called the negotiations a total reset in trade relations. In a post on Truth Social, Trump described Saturday's discussions as very good and said they were conducted in a friendly but constructive manner. Chinese state media also called the talks an important step in resolving trade tensions. The meetings are taking place behind closed doors at the Swiss ambassador's residence in Geneva, with U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Trade Representative Jamie Sun Greer, and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng in attendance. Citigroup's global chief economist Nathan Sheets said the talks show that high tariffs benefit neither country, calling the current trade setup a lose-lose proposition. This marks the first face-to-face meeting between top US and Chinese officials since Trump imposed steep new tariffs on China, which currently total 145%, with cumulative duties on some goods reaching 245%. In response, China imposed 125% tariffs on US goods. While Trump hinted at reducing tariffs, clarified no unilateral action would be taken without concessions from China. Experts say the talks are positive for markets, but expectations of a major breakthrough remain low.